let's talk about the Quick Lane Bowl. Let's talk about.
Sheesh.
Let's go to Detroit. An absolute headliner game.
Yep.
The
That's what I heard.
rematch. Bowling Green versus Minnesota. Bowling Green catching 3.5. You're the gopher. You're the Minnesota guy. You're rowing the boat. Let's no Ethan Kaliakmanis. No Drew
Fine.
Viotto. You got Cole
I,
Kramer starting the game here.
I do think. Okay, Cole Kramer, by the way, if you aren't familiar with Minnesota football, right, and he loves, right, running the football, taking care of the ball, playing good defense, field position, punting on 4th and 1, right? Those are all things that Cole Kramer does to his specialty. Now, taking care of the ball through the air, not really. He's thrown a couple passes in his career, and a lot of like half of them I think have been intercepted. So like it's not great for him, but he was a former triple option guy from EP, Eden Prairie powerhouse in the state of Minnesota. They run the triple option there, really good athlete himself. You've seen him play Wildcat quarterback a couple years ago with all the injuries. He'd come in on short yards packages. He was actually going to retire, by the way. He's getting married this spring. He's looking to get a full-time job. He's just graduating school, or he's getting a second degree. Like he's ready to move on from football. And all of a sudden, Calic Manis hits the portal, Drew Viada hits the portal, and we're like, hey, Kramer, like you've been waiting here for 5 years. You want to play? And you got a lot of NIL money to come back, and there he is. And I think he's really excited to get his opportunity. None of the other portal, misses are really that big of a deal. Zach Evans is gone, but Darius Taylor sounds like he will be back and as healthy as he has been since week 2, right? When he balled out in a lot of those games in early September. And Cody Lindenberg also going to be back, about as healthy as he can be. You're probably going to miss Tyler Nubin, who I'd imagine sit out, but you also have that means insert Coleman Bryson, star of the Bad Boy Mowers Bowl, MVP in 2022, when Tyler Nubin did sit out as well, hit a pick six in that game. Bourbon Spanford, I'm assuming, is going to sit out as well. So look for Nick Callerup, Jameson Gears, and also Pierce Walls, the true freshman, to get some more run there at tight end. Here's the deal. Everyone remembers that Bowling Green game 2 years ago when they came into our house and they beat Minnesota, and
That's
we
30
blew a
point
lead.
underdogs.
We just couldn't move the football whatsoever. We were trying to get acclimated life after Mo Ibrahim tore his Achilles. It was really tough, and I think that left a sour taste in a lot of those guys' minds. I think a lot of them are gone, but PJ Fleck is still there. A lot of the coaching staff is still there. PJ has a ton of respect for the MAC, being a MAC guy, coach, and player. They won't take this lightly, and they care about bowl games. I'll tell you that. Like part of being Minnesota's football coach is beating your rivals, right? Which beat Iowa this year, is beating Wisconsin the past couple years, and win your bowl games. When you get to them bowl games and win it, they're 5-7 because of their academic rating. They have been able to play in this football game, which is cool how that kind of works for Minnesota's favor. But yeah, I don't know, man. I do think Harold Fannin, right, the tight end slash running back slash wide receiver for Bowling Green, will probably be the best player on the field when he plays. And I think that's not a jab at Minnesota's defense, even though it's kind of been pretty shaky this year, especially without Joe Rossi, another guy, star defense coordinator, heading over to Michigan State. He's a baller. He's a legit Power Five, legit D1 guy. He'll be an NFL guy, I think, one day. Does a lot of things for him, really, really well. And yeah, he's going to be a mismatch nightmare. Hopefully, with Lindenberg coming back, he can, match him up as well. We got a true freshman, Kerry Brown, probably going to be playing some at safety because of all the injuries there. So we'll see. I'm not going to give a pick right now. I'll let you talk about it and then I'll give my pick. But what you thinking about this?
Um, well, I'll give you this. These are two teams trending in the opposite directions, right? Unfortunately, Minnesota took a dive the last 4 games of the season. Granted,
Yeah.
it was against some pretty good competition aside from Purdue. No,
Purdue
let's be
and
real. Let's be real. Purdue stinks. All right.
Purdue's terrible. And so is Wisconsin's not very good. And neither is Illinois.
Yeah, and you know what? Bowling Green, they were competitive against Toledo. They probably should have won that game. They have a
Yep.
very good defensive front. They're letting up only 4 yards a carry on the year. Connor
Yep.
Bazelak, they're I don't even know what their offense is, but he gets the ball around. I mean, he gets the ball
And
around a
they,
little bit when he needs to.
they run some weird stuff with Camden Orth at quarterback. He's got 64 carries on the day. Like they spell Bazelak with Orth a little bit and getting him in the action there with some wildcat and some triple option and some RPO stuff. It's interesting style they have there in the MAC.
Yeah. Now Teron Keith, they're one of their running backs, who's actually like I believe leads their team in receptions. He will not be playing in this game, so it's just going to be Stewart at running back. So that does change a little bit dynamic if you're relying on Keith a ton in the pass game. Like, what are you going to do in that instance? Uh, this is one of those games where I'm probably going to regret it, but I'm gonna take Bowling Green plus 3.5, and I will take them to win straight up in this game. I do think Minnesota cares about bowl games a lot, as they should, and they do great in bowl games. And that's honestly a real thing that you have to look at, right? Like bowl games, like how do teams historically play in bowl games? That's something you have to evaluate. And Minnesota does a great job of that. I don't love Cole Kramer at all. He's one of my favorite what do they call it? Like the grids or whatever, NCAA grids. It'll be
Oh,
like
come on.
name a Big Ten player that has like one rushing yard, and I always put Cole Kramer. It's like 0.0001% or whatever of people put Cole Kramer. Uh, I don't know. I don't love his game very much. I don't love Connor Bazelak's game, but I think he can do a lot if Tyler Nubin's not playing.
Yep.
So I want to take Bowling Green plus 3.5, and I'll take them to win straight up. I believe I took them. I only put like 1 point on them to win in the bowl pool because I think like everyone's kind of just chalking up Minnesota. Like, oh, that team's playing Bowling Green. It's a Power 5 team. They win bowl games. Whatever. I'm just gonna pick them. They're probably putting a lot of points on that. So I went a little opposite. I didn't put a lot of points in it because I could see it. I could very likely see a scenario where Minnesota just runs the ball 100 billion times with Darius Taylor and just wins the ball game. But yeah, Corey Kroom's opted out, right? Is he's going to the draft, or he's still? Oh,
So,
he's
so
still
he,
playing in the
he
bowl game.
he'll still
He's
play. He's declaring for
yeah.
the draft, but he'll still play. And I mean, he'll barely catch it. He's a former MAC guy. He played his best football against the MAC team he's very familiar with in Bowling Green. Yeah, I do think I took Minnesota in the bowl pool, but that was before Joe Rossi left from Michigan State. I think that is a huge loss. Our defense was so bad this year down the stretch. So many injuries, so many moving pieces. Got exposed against Illinois, exposed against Purdue, Ohio State. Tanner Mordecai looked like a really good quarterback against us, which he is not all year. I'm gonna go Bowling Green here with you as well. I'm really gonna ride it.
Wow.
I it's
Oh my
so frustrating
gosh.
to say that. I'll be rooting my heart out for Minnesota. I hope they win. They need this win. This would be killer, but it has been an awesome offseason for them, getting in some transfers, keeping Coy Parrish. There's a lot of optimism around this Minnesota football team, even after a 5-7 start or a season. A loss here would be leave an absolutely sour taste in a lot of fans and players' mouth. But I just don't. I think Connor Bazelak, fan and boys, they will get after this get after in this game. Last year, Bowling Green played in the same exact bowl game, Quicken Lane, and they lost to Mexico State and Diego Pavia. I think they're a little bit better this year than they were last year. This is the same team that beat Georgia Tech. Okay, like this is not a bad football team. Um, it's crazy that this is only a 3.5 point spread, but I think that Vegas is begging to take Minnesota and understand that Bowling Green is pretty comparable to them right now because of all the injuries, because of the coordinator change and everything that's happened there. And yes, I didn't love Calic Manis all year. I didn't think he played great, but there were times against inferior competition where he would play super, super good. And I think that O line, the key to victory for Minnesota here is just lean on them, right? Your whole O line's coming back and playing this game. You saw what they did to Eastern Michigan and some other inferior teams, and they just ran the ball. And when Derek Taylor's healthy, he will probably have 30 carries and he'll probably have 200 yards. And if he does that, they'll probably win the football game. But I still think like you get in a shootout here, you get down early. Cole Kramer is not built to play from behind, nor is he built to throw the football. And neither is his team in general to play from behind. So we'll see here. I do think the Joe Rossi thing that really does get me. But they got some guys in there with some play calling experience, but not a ton. And so it's just gonna be we'll see what happens. Danny Collins, I would assume, is probably gonna be the play caller for you there. Stud recruiter, right? John Coy Parrish. And also he's probably been with Joe Rossi the longest, which helps there. But yeah, this is kind of crazy here. But you got some seniors on this team that want to win this football game and that will hopefully, make up for some of the losses that they do have there. But yeah, this is this is crazy. It's about as good as a matchup as you could have gotten for Minnesota, and I still think you might lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, this was probably as good of a matchup as Minnesota could have gotten though. Like for a bowl
Perfect.
game.
Because
It was
it was
perfect.
either this game or it was going to be Kansas, and you're about to get shredded by Kansas.
Eh,
So
Yeah.
No, this is about as good as it could have been, and yet it's definitely concerning. We'll see though. I do think like it wouldn't surprise me either way. Like this is a 3.5 point spread, anyways. So I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota wins. Obviously, they're favored in this game, but my gut just tells me Bowling Green gonna be hard to stop them, which is just I can't believe I'm saying that sentence out loud.
Dagger, dagger, dagger.
It wouldn't be a dagger. It wouldn't be a dagger, but it would be brutal because you had some momentum with signing day, right? With transfer portal, you're bringing up some guys, but Joe Rossi gone, new quarterback. But I guess it's been a net upgrade in the room for sure. You're bringing in three guys that are way better than anyone else they
Huge,
have in this room.
huge. Oh my God, that
And
quarterback room is like every single one of those players in the quarterback room next year is going to be better than every single player in the quarterback room last year.
yeah, which is crazy. And you have like you got Logan Fife to come over and be a backup, which is just crazy.
Who
And I
knows?
love Logan Fife. That's the thing.
What if he gets after it? I don't know.
Well, first of all, like sprained ankle happens just about all the time in college football. Injuries happen whenever he could play a ton of football next year, and he's a baller. I love he could actually beat out Prosmer and Drake Lindsay. But yeah, so I love to talk with Logan Fife. Um, at some point, I'll try to like get after him and see if we can bring him on. But yeah, this is an awesome game.
He's a stud. I've been saying Logan Page's a stud for a while, but let's
No,
go.
Mac, real quick, Max Brosmer is actually practicing for Minnesota this week. Somehow, right? Like I don't know how that actually works, but he can't play in the football game. But he can be a scout team quarterback, which is awesome because there are two quarterbacks on this roster right now. It is your fifth year senior, right? Cole Kramer, and then also your walk on true freshman, Max S. I'm not even going to say his name, but he is a Minnesota football
Ah.
legend. Like he was kind of a baller as a high school senior. But other than that, you don't have a scout team quarterback. So who's going to play it? And it's going to be Brosmer, which is nice because I think, you know, yeah, it's definitely important in these bowl prep games.